Rotogrinders, Dean here. It's Dean78904. If you want to get all technical on me, that is the handle around the DFS industry. It's 5:30 on the East Coast, 2:30 West Coast, 4:30 Tennessee time. So, of course, that means it's time for the flagship show here at Rotogrinders. What is it called? It's called Grinderslive, and it's a Friday. Joining me today on a Friday, it's Kid Yahoo. It's Kirk Dees. We got a 14 gamer, man. A lot going on in the baseball coming down to the wire with the All-Star game right around the corner. My last show until next Friday, I believe. So I'm looking forward to the break for sure. How are things in your world up there in Boston, Beantown?
Okay, we had the storm pass through here. It was a lot lighter than I expected. Got a good weekend plan, so things are pretty good.
Dare I ask, what's on the agenda?
Well, my boy John Aguilar is back in town, and he's a good planner of fun activities. So
I only know him. Does he still work for DK? I don't think he does.
Yeah, he does still.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I guess I don't have to hook up over there. But yeah, I guess he's still Boston based, of course, as well. So is that all you can say about the just stuff's going to be? Well,
there's a boat involved. There's casino involved. There's 2 clubs involved. 50 Cent is involved. Oh, I don't know. So I'm just along for the ride,
All right. Well, you enjoy yourself. I might start Ted Lasso. That's what I'm doing. Possibly. We'll see. I haven't watched that yet. I hear it's pretty good. Have you watched Ted Lasso?
I've watched some of it. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
What do you mean some of it? You watch it, you don't.
I didn't like it. I liked it. It's just like light, and so I didn't dive into it,
Okay. Really I've heard a lot of good things about it. This is the first kind of, not necessarily negative, it's the first kind of sort of somewhat not a raving review. But I'm still anticipating it to be good. I don't know. Maybe the chat will tell us, so we should watch Ted Lasso. I'm gonna fire up because that's the last thing I need. I need Apple now too. I got the Hulu, I got the Amazon and the Netflix, HBO and Showtime.
I've been watching some Lost ripoff. I forgot the name of it on Netflix.
Lost ripoff?
Yeah, it's so Lost.
Oh, is it the TBS one, like the satire?
No. This is on
my buddy's
on Netflix. It's about a plane that disappears, but
then... Manifest. Stop watching it. Stop. Yeah. No. It's not. It gets worse. There's no payoff. Okay. It got canceled. Stop watching.
I kind of liked the first episode, so
it's a fun premise. I got excited about it too, and it just goes nowhere. People will tell you it's good. It's in the top 10 of Netflix, which, by the way, top 10 of Netflix is completely fraudulent. It just tells me that people don't know good TV because it's 9 out of 10 of those shows are usually terrible. All right. You know what? We don't have time for this nonsense because it's a 14-game slate. Maybe I'm bearing the lead because I don't really want to talk about the pitchers today. I kind of sort of do. Actually, I think it's a really interesting slate. There's no studs. Are there even any stud pitchers left outside of Jacob deGrom? It's a whole other conversation, I suppose, with all the sticky stuff going away. But give me your overview. Give me the screenshot as far as your assessment of this slate. I think it's a fun one. I'm pretty sure it's a fun one. I'm hopeful, at least.
It's a pretty fun one. There's a lot of volatility variance in this slate, I think, because we've got a bunch of decent SB2s all over the place. I think everybody's pretty much an SB2 except today. We got to consider Charlie Morton probably an ace, right? He's close to an ace. So he's as close as we got. I think we've got some other good plays. We've got a cheap Kenta Maeda who finally, a cheap Kenta Maeda is something that he's earned this season, except for his last start. And now we get a great matchup with Detroit. So he just makes it really easy to slot in as an SB2 everywhere. We've got some good hitting games, I think. I mean, we've got Garrett Richards on the slate. So, I mean, this dude is bad without the sticky.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't great before. Like he was getting by.
Just like he was like meh with the
Yeah.
sticky, and he is horrendous. Like I think Chop could hit a home run off this guy.
What's Chop's BVP versus Richards? That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I know. I didn't get any BVP plays from him today yet, so hopefully he'll chime in sometime soon.
It's interesting. I actually pulled it up. I always got a glance at it, like, and I get a screenshot of it, and I said, kind of skim it. Nothing really popped to me either. Maybe there isn't really anything out there. To speak to the slate, the most expensive pitcher on DK is Taylor Widener, which the DK prices are just wild. I don't know how they come up with some of this stuff. And, Taylor Widener is essentially the same price as like Yu Darvish and Scherzer were yesterday. And like, it's just weird. Like, I guess anybody who's supposed top play becomes 10K because Odorizzi's overpriced. Cobb, in my estimation, is overpriced. You can play him on FanDuel. I still don't love him there. Wade Miley, whatever. You mentioned Charlie Morton. That's the first guy we're going to talk about, I think, as far as the matchup and, in Miami. Cavernous ballpark, the Marlins, not a very scary team, obviously. And for me, I think it's, I'm just working my way down. Marco Gonzalez, like, there's no way in the world I'm playing Marco Gonzalez at 9.5. Get out of here. Same deal with Eric Lauer. Taijuan Walker, I'm a little bit light on, according to the field, or according to what I'm seeing as far as ownership.
Well,
we're projecting him.
Well, you've
Talk
been
about Walker.
You've been a Walker hater this entire season so far.
Well, I believe in analytics. I believe in stats. I believe in like variance and regression to the mean. But continue.
I've heard you call him the fraud word many times this season, and unfortunately, he's just continuously pitched well. And so I think he's earned it. It's pretty crazy. I mean, he's earned a higher price tag, from this slate. If we had to take it, a grading on a curve here, like, I can't believe there's a bunch of pitchers that are more expensive than him. I like him. So he, I mean, it's hard to argue with the almost 26% K percentage. His walks are, there are, sometimes that can lead to some problems with him, but, the Sierra's been fine. He doesn't have a big pitch repertoire, but what he has been working. As long as those pitches are working, and he's producing, I'm interested, and the matchup is good. So have to like that. I mean, I'm not going crazy for it. I actually would have liked his opponent, who is no longer pitching.
For Pittsburgh?
Right?
Wait, I think you're flipping teams. You're thinking of the Marlins. Thompson's not pitching for the Marlins tonight. At least he may come in at relief at some point. But he's facing Pittsburgh. You don't like Brubaker, do you? Or was Brubaker scratched?
I do like Brubaker. I thought I saw that he may have been scratched, but I'm probably confusing something. I just read it quickly.
Okay. So my understanding is, I'm going to do a quick little Twitter search, far as I can tell. So the Padres have a new pitcher today. We talked about that. Reese Neer is what we're pronouncing him. This is going to be his MLB debut. I don't think he's available in either pool. I did a quick search before the show. One of their bigger prospects, like 5th or 6th prospect in their organization. So it's not somebody that's going to go out there and get his face punched in, and maybe he doesn't go he went 5 innings his last time out, but you can't roster him anyway.
He's got no strikeouts, like,
correct,
upside at all, like, whatsoever. Like, he's like been like a solid 5 innings in which minor league has he been doing this in?
It was like 58 innings, like 48 strikeouts in the minor leagues, and that's probably not going to cut it in the majors. Like, yeah. At least not from a DFS perspective. You can't get excited about that. You can't roster him anyway.
Yes, correct. But we can roster hitters against them.
We can, yeah, which we'll talk about them soon enough. It's Colorado. It's the Rockies playing against them, right?
No. So we probably won't roster too many hitters against them.
That's kind of the hook there. Working our way. So this is why I'm not really on, and I think he's fine. I'm not here to besmirch Walker. I think Walker's fine. Pittsburgh, pretty contact heavy team. Of course, they're a terrible hitting team collectively. He does walk too many guys as well. And it's a great ballpark to pitch into, but I prefer Morton for a little bit more, and for a little bit less, distinctly less, actually. Like the Kenta Maeda price. I know Kenta Maeda has had a down year, but like his ERA is about a point higher than his Sierra. He's been kind of sort of somewhat unlucky. I did have the benefit of watching his last start, and I put the mush on him last time. Like, I'm not playing Maeda. You guys can have Maeda. And he was great. I think he might have been the best pitcher on the slate. I think he had his best start of the season last time out. Looked really good, and he's facing the Tigers, And I know people like to say the Tigers are pesky and yada yada, and like the roster. And I had some Tigers yesterday for sure, smaller slate, but this Detroit team strikes out a ton. Badu, fun story, but leading off 28% as far as strikeouts. Hossie has a big strikeout number. Short's got a 40% strikeout number. Rogers over the 40s as well. 29.5% collectively. I know the K's for Maeda has not been great this year, 22%, 7.1 as far as a walk. That's pretty good. But there's not a huge opportunity cost. There shouldn't be any pitcher theoretically that's going to strike out 10 today. It's kind of sort of somewhat about survival. And did I mention the price on Maeda? Like he's 7.3 on FanDuel and 7.1 on DK. That's my favorite pitcher. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, we're putting a lot of faith in his last start here, right?
Because his overall career and the Tigers.
Yeah, overall career and last start, because he's had one other potentially good start this season and bunch of not so good. He's really struggled. The strikeout stuff hasn't been there very much, although it was in the last start. I mean, it is all about the matchup. I think Detroit is a little bit of an underrated as a pestering hitting team, but they do strike out a ton. Second in K percentage versus right-handed pitching. It's just price. Plus it's the menu that we have to choose from. We don't have a bunch of arms to make us comfortable. I mean, I love Alek Manoah.
Yes. Go ahead.
I loved him last start, and a lot of people didn't love him then. Now it seems like people are jumping on the boat after he just had he faced the same team in a worse park, and certainly mowed a bunch of them down and put up a great performance. This kid's electric. He's got strikeout stuff. He struggled in a couple of his first starts, and that was, I think, due to nerves. I mean, and he also had some tough matchups. I like his strikeout stuff. I like everything in his repertoire. And, we know that the Rays strike out a bunch. Now it's boom bust, right? Like, because the Rays could certainly get up, hit some home runs against this guy. But, Tampa's fourth in strikeout percentage, and he's coming in with the third highest strikeout percentage on the slate available. Oh, well, actually second, because Zach Thompson, we're not so sure if he's actually going to pitch or not.
He might come out of the pen, but I don't think he's worth rostering. It looks like the Marlins are running a bullpen game to some extent. And and also Cortez, 35%, that doesn't really count, right, for the Yankees.
Not count, yeah.
Yeah, Manoah, 29.1%, and the walks at 8.1% is fine. And if you watch him too, like he passes the eye test, and that's kind of something for you. Like he just looks like he's a big imposing.
He
dude.
Looks like a pitcher, definitely.
He looks like a horse out there, man. He looks like he's just that guy. He's just going to mow those people down. And you're right. Like Zanino's in the lineup, and Zanino is an all-star partially because he's a catcher. I know he's got like 15 or 16 home runs this year. Good for him. But when he's not homering, he's striking out like 40% of the time. Like I love seeing that in there. I'll take that matchup all day long. And plenty. Tampa's got a solid lineup. Sure, a lot of power, like you said, and then the ballpark's going to subdue it to some extent. But it's not just. Let me go ahead and pull up the old lineup. The plate IQ, everybody's red. Everybody's red as far as strikeouts today, with the exception of Joey Wendell. And we're not afraid of Joey Wendell, obviously, but even Phillips is in there. Phillips at 32%. Fun player. I'm not sure if you saw Phillips pitching out of the bullpen.
That was hilarious. That was hilarious, except it was like costing me money, like every pitch he was throwing. So
I don't know why more teams don't just, like, if you're down 7, down 8, have some fun, at least enjoy the loss. And it's a better way to take it, especially if you lost like 7 or 8 or 9 games in a row. The Cubs got that right. They keep pitching Sogard. They put Sogard up to 3 times in a row in like 8 days. Just have some fun with that. And Phillips is also the same guy who got hit a couple weeks ago, but he pretended to charge the mound. Did you see that? Like, that was the same guy. And a former teammate hit him, and like he was just kind of playing around. But he's not. I wish he was better, because I want him to have like a 10, 15-year career. He seems like a lot of fun, but he strikes out a lot. So we love seeing that. 32%, even starting out the gate. Brendan Lau at 28%, collectively at 29% as far as striking out. Wander Franco is 27%, which is not expected. He's a contact guy, but so far he's whiffing a lot. What do you got?
This is like the nut strikeout matchup for him. So like this is as good as it gets. So I mean, yes, there's a lot of volatility and there's a lot of risk there with Brandon Lau going deep, or any of these guys going deep. But if Maeda is going to be more chalky, I would just play as much Manoah as I can. But certainly you can play them both together too.
So the chat makes, it's an interesting point. It's a huge slate. It's a 14-game slate. And like from what I've read and what I've seen, everybody, like, we're not saying anything like outside the box. At least I'm not. Like, I'm locked in on Maeda and Manoah and Morton, and I'm okay with Walker. I didn't officially mush Walker. I may even roster him. Probably not. We'll see. My lineups aren't made just yet. But like they're saying in the chat, like these aren't the greatest of names. It's a big slate, and the chalk's going to bust. And I'm looking at obviously the ownership stuff's going to change soon enough, but 36% we're seeing 36% projected ownership right now on Manoah. Maeda 28, which I disagree. I think Maeda will be more heavily owned than Manoah. Do you agree with that?
I mean, that's the sense I get. Like from everything I've read today, it seemed like that he's the no-brainer pitching selection. But Manoah should come in pretty high.
And then Morton at 33, and then Walker at 22. Like, those are the four guys. And then this is where it gets ugly. It falls, whatever low table was on before, it's falling off even a lot more. Brubaker at 20%. He's cheap, and the Mets kind of stink. It's a nice ballpark. Cobb is at 9.8K. He's 13% owned. I think he's a better play in FanDuel if you're going to play him at all. You talk about a nut matchup for strikeouts. Who wants to pick on Toronto? But, this is one day where Toronto's not really popping, nice ballpark to pitch in. And McClanahan he's another guy. We could see like a pitching duel out of these two youngsters, McClanahan and Manoah. And I think he's a really interesting pivot, as well as McKenzie, like Tristan McKenzie. If people aren't going to play him, and a little bit overpriced, 9.4K, that doesn't really add up. But if you want to pivot off of those pitchers that aren't necessarily spectacular, I think that's the first two places I look, in McClanahan and McKenzie. What say you?
Yeah, McClanahan's electric, but the problem is that they don't. He's never really seen 90 pitches yet.
His leash.
Yeah. So you have to worry about that, but certainly could work out for him. Toronto is a tough one. McKenzie, I don't know what to think. I know the K stuff is there for sure, but when you look at 20% walk rate in his little sample, where they sent him down to get things fixed. And, it is nice. I think he has an extreme pitchers umpire, which should theoretically help someone like McKenzie. So yeah, I think, the price is certainly right. And the strikeout upside is there. It's just, you may strap in, you may be in for a ride depending on his command. But I'm not really that scared of the Royals. So I definitely do like it. Yeah, I like it.
Let's just run them down since you mentioned as far as the umpires. Of course, this is one of the things you get with the lineup HQ, one of the tools that, I don't know about yourself, but I use this tool all the time. That and the plate IQ is the two predominant tools I use here at RG as far as figuring out my lineups and things like that. Yeah, you guys can get this for $10 off your first month. Just want baseball? Go have at it. Just get baseball, or you can get all the sports, baseball, football, basketball, hockey. I know that's over, but obviously soon enough. College football, MMA, esports, everything but NASCAR. There you go. $10 off either way. We'll go ahead and drop that link in chat for you guys. We should say hello to chat. What's up, chat? Do subscribe, turn on notifications. It takes a second or two. We do appreciate that. Keeps the proverbial lights on. Let's see. Extreme pitchers today. Extreme pitcher umpire. McKenzie, Keller, Eric Lauer, Wade Miley, who I think is fine, just a little bit overpriced. I think he's fine. Like, he's at worst, he's like an average pitcher. He's okay. I'm fine with him, but I don't know if I'm going to land there. Extreme hitters umpire, just one right now, and that is for Jordan Lyles and Cole Irvin. We do have a couple games that no umpires have been established just yet. Sometimes this stuff comes out right at the bell, and sometimes it even changes. I've seen that before too, where it changes like a half hour or an hour when you get bad information. And this is when it's the start of a new series, and tonight is the start of a bunch of new series. So this is what we think it's going to be, but stay tuned, right?
Correct.
Anything else I kind of mentioned, I saw something in chat. I know, of course, chat, feel free to ask your questions. We'll knock them out later. Devin, producer extraordinaire, is going to be joining the show. He's going to be compiling his questions. He's going to fire them our way soon enough. But I happened to catch one. I had my eye on it, where people are also standing for Manifest. And Manifest gets progressively worse, man. I'm sorry. I'm not in on it. I was hopeful, but it just didn't do it for me. Cole Irvin. They're asking about Cole Irvin. He's fine. I'm not looking to pick on him, but I don't think I'm rostering Cole Irvin. Are you?
No, it's sufficient innings is what you're going for. You're looking at a guy with a 17% K percentage with a low swinging strike. It's just the K stuff shouldn't be there for him. Now, his command has been absolutely excellent this season. He's, been pretty efficient, so I could see it working out for you. But I think it's getting a little too cute on this slate. I'm I just don't see the upside. I mean, of course it's Texas, so you can theoretically give a boost to some strikeouts, but I would much rather play Wade Miley. I like him. I know you just mentioned him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's a little, you're paying for more, but I'm not really struggling for salary on this slate. It's kind of like, I want to make sure I'm getting the upside from all the places.
So I'm not either, and I have to catch another question in chat. I'm keeping an eye on it as of right now, but they're asked about David Price. David Price, if he's starting this game, I don't know if he started a game all season long. The longest he's gone is just several innings, right? Of course, they need his arm. He was a former starter, obviously, back end of his career. I think he's taking Kershaw's spot. Kershaw went on the IL. I want to say with an elbow. Not really certain what it is. Inflammation. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. So, and Price was joking the other day because somebody asked him, like, how long can you go? How many innings can you actually? And he said, well, I can throw a complete game as long as I get everybody out in the second pitch. So he was making a joke. But like David Price is 6.2K. He's facing a terrible Diamondbacks team. And I think the answer is like, we don't really need the salary savings anyway. Right? Like that's like, what are we going to do with this 1,000 we save off of guys? We like several guys in the 7 carrier area. He could be okay in like 4 innings. Maybe he goes 5, but I don't think
he's gone more than 2 all year.
Yeah, but he hasn't pitched since the 4th. He's like on his regular or quote unquote what would be regular rest. But yeah, I'm seeing maybe 4 innings or so.
I can't see it. I cannot see playing him tonight.
It just seems you really got to thread that needle. Like he's got to be efficient, he's got to be good, and maybe he can't even get a win. Like not that you necessarily need those win points. And Arizona has a kind of a contact-heavy lineup sometimes. I have not looked at their lineup today, to be honest. I don't know if it's out because I have not considered rostering anybody there. Yeah. Is there anything else of note that we should mention as far as pitchers? I'm pulling up our expert rankings. You did rankings today, didn't you? I feel like I saw your name in there.
I did.
Let's see. Oh, do you have anything Yahoo specific? The people love Yahoo specific plays.
Let's see. I mean, it's Maeda and Morton is what, you just play the chalk pitchers every night on Yahoo. But I may go Manoah.
Yeah.
But as of right now, my dummy is Maeda and Morton.
Well, that's what was throwing me off because like this is DK and it's different. Obviously, I assume it's different. But like on DK, we're saying Manoah is gonna be the highest owned player, and in my head, he feels like the biggest variance, like the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. If you're gonna compare those guys, am I wrong to say that? Like he feels like he's got the biggest ceiling, but possibly not the safest. I know safe is a relative term.
Correct. I mean, there's a lot of variance there. There's a lot of volatility in this play for sure.
I'm just pulling. Our consensus is Maeda.
Second time seeing him. I mean, they're seeing him again now after after he did just shut him down. But it's a quick turnaround, so they should be ready for him.
Maeda, Morton, Manoah, Walker, Cobb, Miley. That's like the beginnings. I want to see if there's anything different on FanDuel because I think people liked Cobb more on FanDuel for that price. I still didn't necessarily. He's 4th on FanDuel. Maeda, Morton, Walker, Cobb, McKenzie. Yeah. So that's the thing. Manoah is 10-3. I think is the most expensive pitcher on FanDuel. Nobody's rostering him over there. Like maybe 5%. I haven't looked at our projections yet, but he's not going to be heavily owned at all. So I think he's an interesting tournament play for sure. Certainly not in cash, obviously. Anything else as far as pitchers before we move on, talk some stacks?
No, I think we covered it all. I'm just kind of in those same pitchers that probably everybody is on tonight. And there's enough risk there with all these guys anyway. And I just don't see a bunch of upside with the remaining pitchers. So it's kind of boring tonight for me.
Yeah. It looks like Roth just updated his weather. I'm going to go ahead and drop that link in chat for the people. Of course, you guys know Roth will be on crunch time at 6:30. Take you guys all up the lock, not just Roth, but Jesus Good and Christy will be answering your questions. Nothing too interesting. Yellow for the Mets, green for Boston. Rain is long gone, like you said. Boots in the ground. You confirmed that.
Yeah, it's fine out. It's nice.
How close are you to the stadium?
Nice dew point too. I'm not that close. I mean, I'm pretty close, but not that close.
Not like you're not living by the town where they shot the town scenes or nothing like that, right?
No.
All right. Let's do stacks first. That's kind of more of an interesting conversation, I think. And then we'll kind of branch out. We'll go around the horn and they'll knock out questions from the chat. there's not a lot of pitchers we want to roster. There's definitely some pitchers that are vulnerable. Not a lot of. I guess the most obvious spot is where your boots are on the ground, right? Is for the Stacks is Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Boston game, and I think that game is the highest total too, if I'm not mistaken. Is that the first place, or the quote unquote obvious place to look for Stacks today?
Yes. I mean, I love Phillies today. I know it's chalk, so I'm a little bit upset with that, but I mean, we've got Bamboo Brad Miller coming off of a great night last night. And Harper, Segura, Remuto, Reese. I mean, Garrett Richards is horrendous. Unless he's figured something out, or he's moving into the armpit or trying something new here, he's going to get shelled, and he's just out there throwing meat, and these guys are just lighting him up. And so it's the dew point is great today. It's kind of a steamy, it's not too hot, but it's definitely humid out here.
Yeah.
And and the wind's blowing out a little bit to right. So I love the Phillies. I like the Red Sox too. Velasquez is just dying to get lit up. The price, it's Verdugo's price is down on most sites. So it kind of makes the stack pretty easy to do. We're not really searching for much salary this evening, so we can make it happen pretty easily. So I like that. Then we've got
Weather Edge, but I just kind of chime in Weather Edge to confirm what you're talking about with the dew point. I'm sure that's what it is. 69, the dew point. A 182 game sample. We've seen a bump of home runs by 14%, a bump in runs at 7.2%, and an ERA increase of 8.4%. Pretty big sample, like you said, 10 miles per hour out to right field. 69 as far as the temperature and 69 as far as the dew point. So I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue. What other games that you're looking at? It's probably, Minnesota, I think, is the next place people are going to be looking, but go ahead. You tell me.
Well, that's interesting. So, because on our top stacks tool, they're rating out as a really good kind of a leverage play, a difference between smash percentage and ownership. So, okay. I'm definitely interested in Minnesota, although Nelson Cruz is almost dead to me after last night. But
one game is all he gets, 4 at-bats, and that's it.
I have a bad record with this guy, and Jose Ramirez. So those two. Yeah. So they'll probably. Actually, they're probably definitely both going to go yard tonight. But Minnesota is definitely interesting. The White Sox. I mean, I love the White Sox. I mean, Jorge Lopez has been like skating by in a lot of like spots. Like he's not the worst pitcher. He's not the best by any means, but his stuff does dance. It does move. He's got a lot of movement on a lot of his stuff. And
the problem though is like White Sox keep losing players, man. Like who's left in this lineup that we like?
It's such an easy stack though, even with the 6K Abreu, because you got, Adam Engel in there, you got Yuri Garcia's been raking lately, but I know it's not a sexy lineup, and Moncada has been awful this season. But his
Randall's out for the season, I believe. Is he out for the year? I believe. I'm pretty sure. It's serious. And Eloy's coming back though, isn't it? Eloy, somebody's coming back. Is it Eloy or Robert? Eloy's coming back soon. So
all we care about is Brian Goodwin tonight. That's all we care about.
Cleanup hitter Brian Goodwin. We don't care about Sebi Zavala.
Yeah, sell me on him. Give me the rundown.
It's funny. I actually looked at his Fangraph page before the show because he's 2K on DK, and he's a punch just kind of staring at my face. And we'll talk about the catcher because the chalkiest play of the evening on DK. We have to roster a catcher. I don't know what JT Realmuto did to John Aguilar and the good people at DraftKings. Why do they hate? He's all the way up now. He's gone up the last couple of days to 3.8K, all the way up to 3.8K. JT Realmuto, but. I did see Zavala had a couple seasons ago. He had a minor league season where he hit 20 homers. He's projected to be a really subpar hitter. I think he's projected to strike out like a 35% in the majors. Kind of like what I saw was a poor man's Mike Zunino, which he's got some power. He's going to strike out a ton, but this is my 2-minute gander. I've never heard of this guy in my life. It's a fun name to say if I'm saying it correctly. Sebi Zavala, but he's 2K and he's in a nice ballpark. And he's on a team that's supposed to score 5-ish runs today. And he's also on the road. So he's got a decent shot, at least getting those 4 at bats. But that's my sales pitch. He's cheap. What else do you have? Well, I mean, we didn't mention Odorizzi. He was one of the better pitchers pitching today, but like nobody's paying 10K for Jake Odorizzi. Get out of here. And he's also like, let him go 5, maybe. If you're begging for 5 innings, you're lucky if you get 6 or probably not. a lot of power hitters for New York. Not a great ballpark, but a lot of righties. Odorizzi's kind of like neutral or reverse splitsy historically, and you got that what the Crawford box is lurking out there in left field, which isn't exactly right field for lefties in Yankee Stadium, but it's kind of a cheat code as well too in Houston. That wasn't a pun; it just kind of sort of happened. What do you have for me as far, unless you have anything else as far as stacks you want to talk about? We can just
I think
kind of go around.
I don't think Oakland's going to be very popular tonight, and I think Jordan Lyles is definitely someone we should be looking to attack. He's gives up a lot of homers. He's pretty decent amount of fly balls. So I think that Oakland stack could erupt, and it's going to be low owned. I mean, Matt Olson is one of my favorite plays on the slate today.
Yeah.
Even like that kind of like 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I like that range a lot. With Lowry, Chapman, Murphy, Seth Brown. Seth Brown is cheap. You may lose him later in the game, but
yeah,
you may get a home run in the first at bat.
Yeah, this is where I check the bullpen arms for Texas. I'm just kind of curious how many lefties they have lurking, how many lefties they have ready. Do you know it off the dome by chance or no?
Nope.
Okay, well, we'll look in a second. I'm curious. Why are you batting Elvis Andrus second, by the way? What? I won't go on my rants. Do you have any thoughts as far as catcher, or you wanted to jump the?
I loved that Cardi was slamming the Phillies for their lineup last night for playing Brad Miller, and then he donked.
I didn't hear it.
Times.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I somehow missed that, but that is fabulous. And I was saying pre-show, I went on my own little rant because I had a couple of good lineups. I played some Trey Turner with Carlos Santana, double dong ×2, a jack in a bag for Turner, but no Miller, no cash. Well, I mean cash, but no fun cash. He's also 2K on FanDuel tonight, I believe. I'm pretty sure he's like super cheap over there again. He cracked the lineup because they needed a DH. And Hoskins, that's only reason why I didn't play yesterday. I think he gave Hoskins a blow. But all right. Anything else? That was Cardi's mush. Cardi and cards. It's a new thing. I'll give a mush play before this show's over, and you got to give one as well because the mush plays have been. To be fair, yesterday my mush was Minnesota. I said Minnesota is a terrible chalk stack. Like I don't know why they're getting so much ownership. It didn't make any sense to me. I thought it was bad chalk. All right, give me some thoughts at first base besides Olsen.
All right, first base. Well, you can always play Shohei, right?
You can, yeah, but it's left on left. You can't do it.
Yeah, you certainly can. Max Muncy is somebody who's popping for me. Kirilloff, Abreu, Trey Mancini. Keuchel's been bad. And the Orioles hit left-handed pitching really strongly. And so I like the O's as a stack today. And Mancini is a guy I could play in a stack or by himself. I don't really care. I'm just chasing the home run power. Price is fine. Man, I don't know what to do with. I can't go back to Carlos Santana after I left him out of my lineup last night.
Now you're just chasing, man.
Yeah, I can't do that.
What about Freeman? I think Freeman's kind of interesting just because earlier in the day I had no interest in Atlanta. I think Thompson's been pretty good. I respect Thompson. He still may pitch in this game to some extent, and the Marlins bullpen has been mostly pretty good this year. But the ballpark stinks, obviously. I'll be there tomorrow. Should be fun. Looking forward to it. But yeah, are the Braves all of a sudden interesting now that it becomes a bullpen game for the Marlins? Is kind of my question because they're a team that I wasn't on, and now they're at least kind of live.
Yeah, Marlins have a decent pen, but certainly, yes, I think it's an upgrade for Braves bats, and I'm not sure how much ownership they're going to get. I'm not sure how many people are really going to run there anyway. So
not much.
Yeah, it shouldn't be because with the roof closed over there in that park, but certainly I can get that. I mean, there's that heated, Braves Miami, which is why they tossed.
Pablo Lopez, and that was all started by Urania years ago, and
it was
whatever.
Stupid. Yeah, exactly.
The whole thing was
Urania. Yeah, the whole thing is done. But there's certainly they like going at each other, so they get up for these games for some reason. So I like the Braves here.
I'm just trying to see if Voigt's kind of sort of cheap. We don't have the Yankees lineup just yet, but he could be interesting. And did Kirilloff crack that lineup? We haven't. I mentioned Minnesota in passing. You kind of like Bush, Nelson Cruz. Yeah, Matt Manning just ain't in it. Like at least so far, it ain't it, man. It doesn't look very good. This Minnesota, it's a small sample, but he's not looking like he's major league ready. Not ready for prime time just yet. Minnesota has a team total just short of 6. I think that's the biggest on the board, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's even higher than Boston. I like them much better today than I did yesterday. And yeah, a lot of lefties in that lineup too, with the rise and Trevor Larnack, and then in between Donaldson and Cruz. By the way, I did check. Texas has 4 lefties for what it's worth, so you're going to see some of those Oakland guys get 4 lefties in that bullpen: Hearn, King, Martin, and Rodriguez. And they did not play yesterday, so the entire pen is rested at least for one day. Second base, keystone position. It's 1 of 2 spots, if I remember correctly. I was kind of jumping back and forth. Well, you get Altuve pretty cheap. Kike and Ricky Hernandez, they keep raising his price, but he's been solid and nice matchup there against Velasquez on the other side. Again, maybe it's just the entire Philly team that DK doesn't like. Why is Gene Segura only 3.3K? That seems too cheap.
Yeah, I feel like Segura is definitely going to go yard today. Like him a lot. And we got Bamboo Brad again, too, coming off of his 3.
Are you trying to make fetch happen? You're trying to make Bamboo happen here? Is this the thing?
Well, we're going to talk about the Cuban Missile, too, later when we get to the outfield for Texas. I've been trying to
I don't think that's
happen.
a thing. And I think that was somebody else with that nickname years ago, I believe.
No, it's you guys think it's Puig, but it was not Puig.
He was the something horse, like the iron. No, the iron horse.
He was
like
something like that. It was something.
Yeah.
But anyways, I like Kike. I like Whit Merrifield against a wild McKenzie. Get on base, start stealing. Gotta like that. I like. I don't know. I mean, I like Altuve. I like Muncy. I like Segura. That's kind of the guys I had starred. If we're going down trying to find some far deeper plays.
Apparently Aroldis Chapman is the Cuban Missile, who, by the way, he's sucked lately. I don't know if it's sticky stuff related or what, but he's been rough.
No, the Cuban Missile is Adolis Garcia nowadays. Okay, so get with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, some players who there's some guys that like the nicknames have recycled. I can't remember like off the top of my head. There's certain players that have. Well, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Maybe the chat can let us know. I'm drawing a blank for some reason, but give me other stuff at second. Otherwise, jump to third base.
There's also we got a cheap second baseman on Texas that who made the lineup for what's his name?
I don't know. I'm scrolling now.
Ibanez or something. What is it?
Oh, Andy Ibanez. He's 2K.
Yeah.
And the dude for Washington is leading up. I'm trying to see if Escobar is he leading up once again. He's not exactly 2K, but he's like, well, is he still just 2K? I guess I'm looking at FanDuel. FanDuel is 2K. I think he crept up a little bit. The guy, Alcides Escobar is 2.4K. Leading off, he's not great, obviously. Facing Logan Webb coming back from the IL. I don't know how much he's going to be pitching. Just, I like players that are leading off and on the road and well positioned for 5 at-bats, and Webb's not a guy we're afraid of. Escobar's not great, but he has an interesting punch if you need the salary. Segura is going to be mega chalk. Interesting fade for sure in like large field tournaments. What about third base? You mentioned Jose Ramirez. He's gonna
got to go back to Joe Ram. He's awful every time I take this guy. But I'm gonna go right back to him. 5,100 is tough. Brad Keller is someone I certainly can pick on, so I like that play. Donaldson is up there. Moncada. I would probably stay clear of Moncada on DK, but he's cheap on FanDuel. He's cheap on Yahoo. Those are the sites I'm probably playing. Machado against Freeland. I just have a feeling there's going to be some BVP here. So let me check that right now.
All right.
When you think there would be?
Yes, and then they see each other a lot as well. So I would imagine.
No, can't play him. You cannot play him.
Oh no, it's good.
No homers and 21 at bats. No.
7 for 21, 3 doubles, only 2 strikes. I like to look at who controls the at bat.
577 X slug.
And also, what about the exit velocity? You pull that stuff off off of Savant or something like that? You digging in there?
Yep. It's 90, 92.
You're not going to believe this, but Tatis has been good against Freeland. 5 of 12, 2 doubles, a homer.
That's a chopper play right there.
Like, I wouldn't think to ever play Tatis, but now that I know he was 5 for 12 against Kyle Freeland, like, oh yeah, I guess I can play this guy. Yeah. I think he's the first, I feel like I read this. He's the first player to ever get 20-20 in the first half of the season. Ridiculous. So good. Yeah. All right. We're not on shortstop just yet, but are we on shortstop? We're talking about the third baseman right now. Are we done with third? Are we moving on or what?
I mean, Do I have to mention Devers?
I mean, yeah, that's kind of like, yeah, that's, I mean, it's
just like easy, right?
well, yeah, we can just sort of run this stuff down, but like we think the people that are watching, I just want to understand, like we talked about, we love the Boston stack, we love the Philadelphia stack. Devers is kind of sort of somewhat expensive, but it's not really that hard to make that work. You mentioned like Chapman, he's super pricey, which maybe you have the money. Like money is almost kind of sort of not a thing today. If you're not spending up on pitchers, and you're probably not spending up on pitchers, unless, I mean, I don't know. Or do you think that what is it, 10K for Taylor Widener? Do you think that's a good investment?
Do not.
Shortstop. Well, I mean, you like Bogarts, the aforementioned Tatis, like he's had a great career against Kyle Freeland, and he's also just pretty good as is. And Didi Gregorius, another Philly. Again, I don't know what the Phillies did to Boston, but they are really cheap. Other thoughts there at shortstop, or expand on those?
Sure. So, I mean, obviously Tatis, correct. Tim Anderson, Alexander, like Didi, like Trey Turner has been heating up. Is someone I really like. And I like a lot of these Nats in general. So that's Trey Turner's a priority maybe for me tonight. You know, because I just don't think he's going to get the same, you know, the love that like Tatis and everyone's going to get. So he's going to be a guy I'm going to. Brandon Crawford. It's just tough to look at that price tag.
Yeah.
So but certainly could see him going yard here. Urshela is a guy that, you know, you're getting a power Yankee hitter against a guy that's used to be, you know, reverse splits guy. You know, the Yankees righties should be fine here. Urshela's been one of the better hitting Yankees this season.
You want their lineup, by the way? It's LeMahieu, Judge, Sanchez, Stanton, Torres, Odor.
Did he make it?
Urshela, Brett Gardner. There's the mush play. Brett Gardner and then Wade.
That dude's head is just a commercial for HGH. It's crazy.
Brett Gardner?
Yeah. Have you ever seen his head?
I like, know. I've seen him pound on the dugout.
Just Google after this Brett Gardner's head, and just look at all the images. It's hilarious.
We're not making it. This is allegedly, to be clear. This is not these aren't official allegations.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. No one's going to play Bo Bichette. So
nobody's playing Toronto. Like Toronto's just going to be unowned out of nowhere. And I get it.
And it seems to me like we haven't really mentioned Houston at all.
Yeah.
You know, I know the Yankees bullpen is pretty good, but they're still in play. You got it. I mean, it's
no Correa in that lineup, by the way. And I mean, look, I don't know if you saw this, but Correa is not going to the All-Star game because his wife's having a baby. Okay, sure. And then Altuve is not going to the All-Star game because he said he thinks he owes it to his team to give him 4 days rest as opposed to taking part in the festivities. Why do you think those two are not going to the game? You have a thought? Maybe why would those two not be going to the All-Star game?
I don't know. It's nothing to do with cheating, right?
It's just weird because like they've been on the road anyway. Like I mean,
we'd have to ask. We have a resident Astros fan.
Ask Chopper about that.
We've got to ask Chopper about that.
And he defends them too. Like he defends their actions. Like, come on, man. There's different degrees of cheating. Theirs is on the egregious end, the most egregious end. Give me some outfielders, and we'll turn this over to the chat, and I'm sure they'll have some thoughts as far as the Astros. But who's got time for that? I don't know why I bring it up, but
McCutchen, the easiest cash play on the slate, 30
DK specifically,
batting cleanup. Bryce Harper, another one, easy play. Brian Goodwin, is cheap, batting cleanup in a great spot against Lopez, and and that bullpen. I don't know. I'd like to hear your thoughts on Cody Bellinger, who has not done anything since returning.
I meant to look at his advanced stuff, and trying to see if he's hitting the ball hard and just been unlucky. And I did not do that today, but that's something that's like on my list, but you're right. And he's kind of like Yelich, right? He's just, and who knows if he's smarting, if he's hurting, if that's what's going on there, but certainly the numbers aren't there. You're getting a bit of a discount. I think he was an MVP, right? Was an MVP like last year, or the year before? An MVP not too long ago. And, 4.5K is a pretty reasonable price. On DK for an outfielder, especially
he's like $11 on Yahoo, I think.
Yeah, I don't have a well thought out thought, unfortunately. Like I can't take a stand on him, but like I get why you'd roster him, and I guess I get why you wouldn't, and that's that.
I mean, I'd rather take Verdugo over him personally because I think there's going to be a lot of runs in that game, and Verdugo is just too cheap on all sites.
Are optimizers giving you Bellinger? I assume they are, right?
For sure they are.
On Yahoo. Yeah.
For sure, 100%.
Framil Reyes is still a little bit too cheap there, 3.9K. I love his power. We saw it last night with the walk-off. Betts is kind of cheap on FanDuel. He's got a nice FanDuel price. If you're just kind of shopping around as far as prices, he's like 3.6.
Yeah, Franmel's too cheap for sure.
You like Renfroe tonight?
Yep.
Yeah.
Always like Renfroe. I mean, he's home run or bust, you know.
All right. We got to bring on Devin. We got about 5 or 6 minutes or so before we Devin's
tons of questions. We're going right to lightning round. Stacks
Let's
game
do it.
1 through 5. Dean, Miami.
1.
Kirk.
Miami. 2.
Oakland.
2.75.
4.5.
San Fran.
Ooh, San Fran. 2.5.
Man, I like San Fran a lot. I like Skremski tonight. I like Alex Dickerson. I like Crawford. I'm gonna say 4.
Slowest lightning round. Tampa Bay.
1.5.
Yeah, 2.
The Angels of Anaheim.
The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. The Angels. 2.5.
Solid 3.
Cleveland.
I'm clearly like the Russian judge here, man. I'm rounding down, it seems like. Cleveland, a 3.
I'm gonna say 4.
Is that the Simon Cowell of stacks? Hedge stack, Detroit.
I'm not playing Detroit. 1.5. Like, I get it, but I'm not playing them.
I'm gonna say 4.
Woof.
If Maeda's chalk, this is as clear of a leverage spot as you can get.
Padres.
3.5.
Yeah, 3 is fine.
Dodgers.
I just want to note that Pham and Myers are really, really cheap on FanDuel. They're really good punt plays, assuming they crack the lineup, obviously. What was the team you said?
That was the Dodgers.
3.
4.
Royals.
Where are the Royals?
Kansas City.
Yeah. Is that Missouri or is that?
I had to.
Kansas? 2.25. I'm not a big fan of KC today.
3.
Last 2 are Philly and Boston.
I would give Philly a 4.5. I know it's super chalky, but like that's.
I love them both, but I'm going to say 4 just because of chalkiness, and then I'm going to say 5 on Baltimore Orioles that nobody's mentioned yet.
There you
go. Look at that. All right. I'm going to run through these quick. Keuchel, yes or no?
No.
Peter Porker asked DK tournaments. Maeda and Walker, would you play that for tournaments?
Sure, it's fine.
Sure.
Interest in Cobb, Kirk?
Yes, I do have interest in Cobb.
Shannon asks, who has the guts to play Odorizzi? Dean?
Not me. Like, even if he's pitching good, he goes maybe 6 innings. Maybe, but no.
That price, no.
Speaking of price, is David Price on a pitch count?
Probably. I don't know what it is, but
for sure.
Maybe he throws 60-ish, maybe.
All right, Alan asked DK tournament, Cobb or Walker?
You take that one.
I'll say Cobb for tournaments.
Morningwood was asking about Framil Reyes. That was one of the few outfields you guys got in before I cut you off, so we'll say yes to that. Dude asks, FanDuel tournaments, what's your favorite stacks to use against chalky SPs?
Well, let's go ahead and pull up let's see. I didn't use the FanDuel ownership stuff, so I'm going to jump to the FanDuel page real quick. Ask one more question as I'm buying some time here.
Let's see. We'll skip to that one in a minute. Scotty was asking about Brubaker. Anybody playing him?
I like Brubaker tonight. Yes, play him.
Dean, that chalk is Atlanta with Morton, Walker with Mets, and Manoah, Toronto.
It's kind of spread out. Like, if our ownership projections are to be trusted, Morton is 26%, the highest owned guy in FanDuel. Then it drops pretty quickly. Walker to 15, Manoah at 11, which I don't agree with. I think it might be lower than that. Maeda at 10, Cobb at 9. there really isn't like this, I guess if you like the Marlins, but
I know one person that does.
I don't really want to take Pittsburgh. I think Tampa's kind of interesting, but I don't think Manoah is chalky. So I think that doesn't make sense with the question. You have thoughts on that, Curtis?
I think Detroit is the one you target.
DK tournaments with a 4-man Philly stack. Last man in. Is it Hoskins or Guerrero, Kirk?
Hoskins.
What? That's Vladdy?
Yes.
It's you with the stack with the stack,
the 4-man
right?
Philly stack.
Oh, go to 5
Yeah.
or keep it at 4 with Vladdy. Okay,
Or one off with that. All right. Daryl asked FanDuel tournament stacking Philly, Hoskins and Didi or Segura Real Muto.
I mean, I'm assuming is that a FanDuel question because they're playing Remoto
It is,
on
yes. FanDuel
yeah, it's got to
tournament.
be a FanDuel question. I don't think people are playing Remoto on FanDuel because I just think that people just like, I don't need to play a catcher.
Yeah.
Am I wrong in that assessment, Curtis?
I don't know. I think they're all going to get some love tonight because
Some.
of the spot. But I'll take that's the side I would choose.
I see 12% on FanDuel for Real Muto.
Yeah.
Did we touched on McClanahan? Do you want to give 5 seconds on that?
Curtis?
He's electric.
There it is. I love it. What are the most
He might only throw like 85 pitches, which is the issue.
He's never
kind of
gone.
priced
He's
for that.
never hit 90 pitches yet.
I mean, you can get some work done in 85.
When you're electric.
What are the mush plays?
Ooh, what are the bush plays?
While you're thinking about it, Dean, did you get a Top Shot pack?
I did. I had to run an
Wait,
errand.
there was
I got
packs
the
today?
email. My 20-minute timed out, and I didn't get it. But like I had one reserved, and I didn't have one reserved.
Just
yeah.
classic.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first. This is why you don't leave your house. Just don't run errands. Don't leave your house. Lesson number 1. Oh, I guess you got one. Is that why you humble brag?
I
Is
did.
that what we're saying
I
now?
wasn't humble bragging. Some T in chat was asking if you got one. So,
Ugh.
and of course I'm gonna
Wait,
ask.
so this went off today?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Playoff pack.
Playoff packs?
I got a Jeff Green number 522.
Oh boy,
It
get
is.
excited.
It is $6 over the base of $6.
I mean, look, I'm not mushing Walker, but I'm going to have less Walker than the field. If he is the chalk, I am going to have less Walker. I like the other 3 pitchers based upon price more than Walker and whatever. So be it. But
I love the evolution of the Walker thoughts. You
it's
had a
Pittsburgh.
quote.
It's the problem.
I'm not officially mushing Walker was an exact quote from you earlier.
Well, because like why couldn't it be any other team? That's the tricky part.
Kirk, any mush plays? We're out of time, so we got to get out of here.
I got to give him a mush play?
If you
Yeah.
got one, don't force it. The mush has to be organic.
Well, you forced me to say Walker.
Harper is going to
Dean, you wanted to say Walker all day.
Not really.
bust.
All right, Dean, take us home.
Hey, enjoy the All-Star break. I know there's games on Saturday and Sunday. Obviously, this is my last show until Friday. Enjoy the All-Star break. We'll catch you guys next Friday. Of course, there's golf content and shows and premium and all sorts of good stuff leading up. MMA going down as well this weekend. D-Train's like, hey, wrap this thing up. We got to get out of here. We do, because Crunch Time's up next. You guys got Cheese is Good. 2-time millionaire winner, giving you guys some winners for tonight. Chrissy will be there as well. Roth will tell you any weather that's lurking. That said, this was baseball. That was Kirk Dees. That was Devin. I was Dean. We're out of here. Ho!